Whether it's wrestling or mixed martial arts, he is undefeated in all. Khamzat Chimaev is undoubtedly one of the scariest fighters in the world of MMA right now. Records are good and all, but what makes Khamzat truly scary is the way he fights in the cage. So what goes on in these fights? What is so special about the bras? And what's next for this unstoppable fighting machine? This requires a compilation of clips that show Khamzat celebrating and screaming while facing the camera, or being aggressive any other way. Let's find out. Buckle up, because we're going straight into this Chechen fighter's amazing MMA journey. Appearing in the amateur MMA arena just 6 years ago, Khamzat Chimaev had made some pretty big waves within a short time. 1 knockout and 2 submissions later, this fighter was ready to move on to the big ring of pro fights. Chimaev's professional journey began with a 176-pound catchweight bout against guard Olva Sagan. This fight made it clear what others can expect from a Khamzat fight. The Boers will take his opponent to the ground and keep on pounding like there's no tomorrow. Boom! Just 5 seconds into the second round, the ref steps in to save Sagan from the barrage of punches. Khamzat the Boers nails his first pro win most spectacularly. Up next, Khamzat Chimaev appeared in a middleweight bout against McGregor. And let me tell you, the fight was like watching a toddler trying to take its first steps. From the get-go, the Boers charged into his opponent, knocked him to the ground, and kept hitting with all he had. With just over 40 seconds left in round 1, the Boers pulled off a stunning rear naked choke, forcing a submission and securing the second pro win. But the real highlight happened when Ol threw a punch that displaced Khamzat's mouthguard. What does Chimaev do? With one hand, he fixes it while keeping a grip on his opponent. Have you ever seen anything like that? We sure haven't. After such performances, the world took notice. He signed up with Brave Combat Federation, making his promotional debut against the undefeated Marko Kisic in a welterweight bout. As soon as the fight started, both fighters threw punches at an insane speed. Khamzat's powerful strikes made Marko smooch the ground several times. At one point, Marko nearly gets Khamzat in a triangle choke. The Boers breaks free and starts pounding on Marko Kisic with full force. Holy cow! Those jabs feel like they were made to smash boulders. And ting ting ting, Khamzat gets yet another technical knockout. Marko protested the stoppage, but regardless, Khamzat won. So what's your take? Was the referee right in his decision, or should the fight have gone on? Let us know in the comments section. Before moving on to UFC, Khamzat had 3 more adrenaline-pumped epic fights as part of Brave CF. The first fight against Sidney Wheeler lasted only 35 seconds and ended when Wheeler finally raised the white flag in the face of Chimaev's repeated hammer fists. Next up is Ikram Aliskerov, an undefeated fighter with double the experience in pro bouts. The fight dragged on a bit longer, but at the 2 minutes and 26-second mark, Chimaev's quite literal jaw-dropping strike saw Aliskerov dropping to the ground. The Boers bags 5 victories in a row in professional bouts. His last fight in the Brave CF was against the South African sensation, Mzwandile Shakebone Hlongwa. Ironically, the Shakebone must have felt his bones shaking in this fight. As soon as the ref signals the start, Chimaev rushes in like a mad dog and slams Hlongwa to the canvas. For the entirety of round 1, Shakebone remained on his back and endured punches from the Boers. The second round made history. I mean, just look. Khamzat got hold of his opponent, lifted him in the air, and carried him across the stage so that he could listen to his coach. Well, folks, I am speechless. At that point, you already know that Khamzat is on a whole different level. With this Bravo choke, the Boers knocks out Hlongwa and wins the last fight in Brave CF. After this breathtaking spell, the Wolf turns his attention toward the biggest fighting stage of all. His first opponent in the UFC is the Welsh wrecking machine John Phillips. Boers in Bravo choke once again. Maddened by the smell of glory, the Chechen fighter demands more fights. Dana White grants the wish, and the Boers is back in the Octagon in just 10 days, this time facing Rhys McKee. In the fight, Khamzat Chimaev took his favorite ground and pound strategy to a whole new layer fight. The pounding only stopped when the ref stepped in and declared Chimaev victorious. I honestly don't know how Rhys McKee held on till the end. I mean, just look at those hammers dropping on his head. But one thing was for sure, with aggression that never ends, Khamzat Chimaev was truly living up to his nickname, Boers the Wolf. But some thought Khamzat's performance was too good to be true, and they tried to reason by questioning the strength of the opponents. Gerald Meerschaert appeared in the ring as the champion of these skeptics. Gerald had proved his worth with 31 victories leading up to this fight. In his arrogance, he believed he would be the one to end this pesky upstart's career. "I'm a blue belt, and I'm gonna choke you out." Instead, within 17 seconds, the Boers knocks out the cocky fighter with an earth-shattering punch. Isn't it satisfying when arrogant fighters get what they deserve? Now that Khamzat has proven his mettle, some want the glory of taming this beast. Li Jingliang is one such fighter who challenged the Boers, but all was in vain. Within just over 3 minutes, Khamzat ended the fight with a rear-naked choke like the good old times. But he did so in style. At one point, he dragged Lee to the corner while talking to Dana White. What an entertainer. Khamzat wins 10 professional bouts in a row. All of the wins came from either knockouts or submissions. Khamzat's 11th fight is different. That was the first time a match went on for 3 rounds. In this historic fight, Khamzat stood against Gilbert Burns. Chimaev started strong in round 1 with a massive jab that made Burns lose balance and fall to the ground. The Boers followed up with some skull-breaking strikes. The bell rang to end an explosive round 1. Burns, being the stubborn beast that he is, made a remarkable comeback in round 2, landing several powerful attacks on Khamzat. To be honest, this is the first time I saw Khamzat get hurt. The fans went berserk. The 3rd round was even more nail-biting. Both of these fighters grappled, boxed, and kicked with all they had. Khamzat landed some brilliant jabs, but Burns also retaliated throughout the match. Finally, time's up. The judges unanimously declared Khamzat as the winner. So what do you think? Who won the bout? Let us know in the comments section. Khamzat Chimaev's 12th fight took place on September 10th, 2020. This was against Kevin Holland. In his usual fashion, the Boers finished the fight early. With just 2 minutes and 13 seconds on the clock, Khamzat forced Kevin to submit by doing a Bravo choke. 12 consecutive pro wins. I don't know who in their right mind wants to get into a ring after this. But if there is one thing UFC has in plenty, that is crazy brave souls. In the latest fight, the former welterweight champion Kamaru Usman went up against our favorite fighting machine. This fight went on for 3 rounds. Khamzat dominated the first with his famous ground and pound and landed some serious strikes. The fighters took a breather in the 2nd round, sizing each other up. In the last round, Khamzat went for a failed takedown. Usman made some impressive strikes, and Khamzat retaliated while getting increasingly hungry for a ground and pound. Halfway through the final round, the Boers shoved Usman to the ground. But with less than 30 seconds remaining on the clock, Usman broke free. And after that, the fight turned into an all-out jab fest, only ending when the bells rang. The judges ruled in favor of Khamzat Chimaev, marking his 13 consecutive wins. With performances like these, there is no doubt that Khamzat Chimaev is tearing through the world of MMA right now. Undefeated in all of his MMA fights, squatting giants like flies and casually lifting his opponents in the air. Khamzat the Boers Chimaev is truly something special. What makes him even more spectacular is his intense desire to fight. Plus, the beast seems to thrive every time he takes a beating. The man doesn't have any fears and the crowd loves it. Dana White's loving it too. So the question is, what's next for Khamzat? Rumors have already been swirling about matching up Khamzat against Israel Adesanya, Jared Cannonier, and Paul Craig. Can you imagine the utter chaos these fights will unleash? Whoever it's against, we hope Khamzat Chimaev gets on the Octagon soon. But till then, quench your MMA thirst by watching the great karate master Lyoto Machida humbling giants of the combat sport. See you on that video.